everyone, welcome to GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Happy Halloween.
Daniel Bloodworth. And Michael Damiani.
I like that, Kyle.
Ooh. Yeah, I got a little Halloween by the end. Yeah.
Spooky Kyle.
This episode goes up on Halloween. Today is Halloween.
Where's our candy?
I should have brought candy.
Oh, man.
We're back in the couch.
Coffee can be candy.
Basically, very positive response to the couch.
Yes. Popular demand, for real.
Popular demand. So Smosh taking our chairs turned out to be a great thing.
And we got more chairs, too. They
got more
ordered
chairs.
more chairs. The chairs multiplied. I walked into the room. I'm like, is this a bad dream? I don't remember us having this many of these giant
There are
stools.
16 nice leather stools in the room beside us, and we're not using any of them for GT time.
It's like we have a waiting room back there, but there's nobody waiting.
Yeah.
But it could house like 20 people.
Well, like when we have like a green room and we have like special guests. Like James Gunn is on the show today, and like he's here to talk to us about
Not
Guardians of the
for
Galaxy
this
2. So let's do our corrections. Let's get straight into those. We have a bunch this week, so begin that. Blood, did you say Minecraft's on Steam last week?
I don't know that I exactly did. Maybe I implied that. I was like, I knew it wasn't on Steam for the longest time. I didn't know if it was yet
Never.
or not because it's on everything.
Yeah, but
How is Minecraft not on Steam when it's on every single other thing in the world?
It's one of those games where people will find Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
They will find it on.
Well, that's
their own.
but that's the thing. That's why I was like, it's weird to me that to be a correction because that was the whole point. Like,
Yeah.
Minecraft did fine without Steam.
Yeah. Well, very few can. Minecraft's this incredible anomaly. Superman didn't make his symbol. That was just a coincidence. This is what it looked like on his planet. What's the name of his planet?
Krypton.
Krypton. Thank you, Brandon. We're doing corrections within corrections. Yeah, that's like his family seal. And it was on like that cape that he was like sent to Earth on.
Right.
So he didn't like design that. That wasn't his own weird design.
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to correct it. Suda
remember that.
51. We struggled to remember.
Superman conversation did we have?
Because you were talking about like how cool it is
League of Legends
that all the League of
logos.
Legends teams
Oh,
have their
right,
logos,
okay.
and I'm like, no, they don't make those logos. They're made for them. They're their family crest from Krypton.
Very focused correction there.
Suda 51's game is named Let It Die.
Woo!
That's a bad name for a game though.
That's a really good name for a game. Let It Die.
Not if you're like talking about it. I'll just let it die.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's evocative. I think that's an incredible 3 words to put together.
It's not a call to action though.
You're right. It's,
You know?
you're being passive with Let It Die.
like
It's
you
not
wanna-
kill it. It's Let It Die.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. November 11th, we talked about how that isn't coming out in Belgium and France. Halo Master Chief Collection isn't coming out on November 11th worldwide. It wasn't for some countries. There's a very specific reason why. That is the day of armistice in Belgium and France. Commemorates the end of the First World War. Shops are closed, even digital shops apparently.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we have Veterans Day, I guess, but
Yeah.
we buy things we have sales on Veterans Day.
Yeah, they actually close shops a lot in Europe, like Sundays. Like it's kind of hard to find places that are open.
Wow. I wonder if it's even the digital shops. You know what I mean? You can't download that game on November 11th even. It's like, hey,
Really?
respect your elders. Yeah.
We're not gonna correct that next week. That's the thing.
That's the thing. You cannot buy Master Chief Collection on November 11th in Belgium.
Well, the Master Chief Collection, but can
Yeah.
you buy something else on the 11th?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure you can buy other things, but they're not released.
Well, that's
And correction music.
okay.
Because we don't hear that music that's playing the whole time, but I bet it's got a grate on a poor listener.
But not anymore. It's done. We're past it.
We're past it. It's nice and we're just talking nice and easy. We're on the couch.
Kind of nice and easy.
Damiani's got his
We're kind of
leg
on the clock today.
He's very relaxed. We are on the clock.
I have a 1 o'clock meeting. So.
Daniel Bloodworth has a very important 1 o'clock meeting, so let's just get straight to it. Let's get to the news this week. Big news, big industry shakeups. The Xbox One has a temporary $50 price cut for the holiday season on the Xbox One bundles.
Bundles.
Everyone, you can get an Assassin's Creed Unity Xbox One bundle or a Sunset Overdrive Xbox One bundle for $350. What do you think about that, panel?
Well, you can get the bundles for $350?
Yeah.
I thought you would just get the like $50 off whatever the bundle was.
It is, but that bundle is $350
Oh,
now.
nice.
Nice is what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nice as a consumer if you're gonna pick up an Xbox One this season, but it's kind of it definitely feels like let's like build all the momentum we can, and it feels a little desperate. Like, because that was $500 a year ago, right?
1 year ago.
That is huge. How much they've dropped everything.
Yeah.
To just try to catch up. I mean, they're not doing badly. They're just trying to get back into the race with Sony.
And I mean, 1 year ago at $500, that included the Kinect.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like they're losing that much more off of it. But yeah, it does seem like probably not making a ton of profit off 350 bundle included, the software included. Damiani, you think it's a good idea?
It is a very good idea. Shows that Microsoft's ready to go to war with Sony.
All right, well, it's not called a war. I don't want to get in there.
They've just realized.
They're like, the line must be drawn here. This law no fun. Cannot allow PS4 to keep encroaching on our consumers and stuff. We must get them back. No, this is serious. They mean serious business when they're doing this. It's only temporary, but that's the biggest time for people to go buy systems. The holiday shopping season. There you go. Like, they're gonna try and catch up, and then, as Daniel said, like, they're gonna try and carry that momentum into next year, and maybe they can like turn things around. It's not too late. Like, this is like the opportune time to do something. Like, they should have done something sooner about this, and they kind of did with the removing the Kinect and dropping the price down for that. That wasn't quite enough. This, I think, is it. This is like the best push they can do. They're pushing it hard. They're advertising it. They're giving you those great bundles with those games that you want on their multi-platform games as well. Like, but hey, here's our bundle with this. You know, I'm sure. Maybe Sony, have they announced that they're going to do an Assassin's Creed bundle for PS4? Because
no.
If I was Sony, I'd be like, okay, well, here's our Assassin's Creed bundle, and it's $50 less than yours.
That rarely happens. I think usually they make a deal with one game, and that one game says, okay, we're going to be the bundle game, and then the other one can't do that.
I think, What are they doing a GTA bundle again?
I think it's at least rumored, or everyone thinks it's going to happen.
Okay. GTA 5 PS4 bundle, $250. Your move, Microsoft.
Well, let's talk about that.
But they usually announce their bundles like way in advance.
Sure. You're right. Do you think we would know about it now? I don't know, but GTA is this whole other thing where they don't care about announcing anything ahead of time. Brandon, do you think that bundle will exist?
It could. Yeah, they love doing that. You know, just like, oh, we can get it tomorrow.
Do you think Sony has to do a response? Do you think Sony's in a position where they have to say, okay, now what do we do?
No, because it's temporary. I think does that happen a lot? A temporary price drop?
Can't even think of anything like that. That's really weird. I mean, it may have happened before, but it's super weird for something so high profile.
I think it's happened at certain retailers before around at certain times, like a small discount on systems or bundles, but it's been temporary. I think I'm trying to remember, I think during the 360 era, there was like a time they did that once, at least, with some bundles. Yeah,
it's not a bad idea if you want to just boost sales for this one period of time. And I mean, I should mention, this is in the United States, and in the United States, we go crazy. For some reason, we just love that holiday season, and like most of our game sales happen during those few months.
That's why all the games come out in November.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty bad.
I just have to wonder if you're going to pick a 350 console over a 400 console without any knowledge of like what games are on it or what your kid's going to be into. Like, I think, because I grew up in the era where it was like, you know, you could get a console totally out of surprise. Just like, oh man, I had no idea I was getting that. Whereas like, I don't know, they're so expensive, and the kids can get so much access to them, like in stores and like online, and get all the info and everything. Like, I just don't see a lot of parents, maybe this is just my ignorance, but like a lot of parents going into Toys R Us being like, who knows what a console I'm going to walk out with? It's like, no, your kid told you very specifically PS4. It's like, all my friends have PS4s, all my friends have Xboxes, and that's just like a perk. Like, I don't know, because you drop it for that reason, right? For people literally to see the two of them right next to each other, and it's like, well, if I can walk out with a console and a game, and then another game for the same price as just maybe getting just a console, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think that.
But I think the temporary is one of those things too, where it's like, oh, I got to take advantage of this. So I
like a time thing. Like, I would see somebody that knew they were going to get the Xbox, but is going to do it now instead of later, as opposed to like, well, now I'm going to buy the Xbox instead of the PlayStation 4. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or as being as common.
I mean, I think largely what Microsoft has been trying to do is saying like, we are the same as the PS4 or better. You know what I mean? It wants to be directly comparable to the PS4, whereas Wii U, nobody thinks of it in the same tier as those things. It's way cheaper. Wii U is way cheaper than both those things, and nobody cares. It's like it's not doing as well, I should say, as those other things. Damiani, you're making a concerned look about that statement.
No, I'm not making a concerned
What were you
look about
thinking
it.
about just then?
No, I mean, it's already been like stated and stuff. Like, I don't know what else to say other than like the obvious. Just reducing the price and stuff to get people to get on board and stuff like that. I just don't know. I was just trying to think about what is coming out right after the holiday season for Microsoft because we're talking about building momentum going into next year. But usually we see like January sales like kind of like fall off, except for Call of Duty. Apparently everything dies in January unless it's like a new game. Like, I think when Mass Effect 2 came out in January, it was like a huge game, and like there's been few others, but in general, like the console sales seem to like just die going into January.
Yeah.
And that's why
February gets crazy though.
Yeah, and in February, that's why we've seen in the last few years like releases have been pushed into Q1, especially even earlier. It used to be all in March. Now it's like stuff is now in February, and it's wondering when we get to that point where January is gonna have huge releases all of a sudden, like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like when we get because I can remember a handful. Like Mass Effect 2. RE4 came out in January, like on the GameCube, but like we're gonna get like I wanted to get to that point when January is a huge month. Like we got like all these games coming out. We got like new Call of Duty got pushed out November into January because January is the new November or something like that. So what's coming out on like Microsoft's platforms early next year or on the Xbox One next year to keep that momentum going? Because when I think of Q1 right now, I think of Bloodborne. I'm like, Sony's got a game already. They got something coming out in February, huge.
You got Battlefield. You got Batman. There's some very
There's a lot of third parties.
There's
a lot
some
of great
third
third
parties.
parties.
Yeah, you got your Evolve. I
Evolve,
assume
Witcher.
Evolve will do well on the platform. Witcher, I think Microsoft's been doing some Witcher promotion. Yeah.
They were on their stage.
Yeah.
But Witcher could be anywhere. So
yeah, I think there's going to be plenty. February it's going to be the greatest February of all gaming history.
It's going to be one of the best, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft has enough of those games, so it shouldn't be we're like, we're not going to sell during then. We should just push all in November. But I think it's.
I guess it depends if the marketing is pushed towards the Xbox One because all those games are going to be on PS4 and probably PC.
I think it's safe to say
has a PC
Microsoft
version,
will
yeah.
never stop marketing the Xbox One.
I know, but
they'll never spend less money on it. I feel like
those games. I feel like right now, like there's enough people like I can play. It'll be interesting to see Call of Duty sales on PS4 versus Xbox One if that comes out. It'll be interesting to see if they're at parity with the sales or how big of a gap it is between one and the other because it used to be a huge gap. It used to be 360 like just dominant. Call of Duty comes out 360. That's like the lead platform by a good amount.
I'm curious what the generational gap will look like too.
Oh, that too, yeah. That'd be interesting.
Tracing trends, I think it will be 8th gen will beat 7th gen for Call of Duty is what I think will happen for sure almost. Mm-hmm. And I think PS4 will lead, actually. I think last year PS4 did beat Xbox One when it came to Call of Duty, which is a little crazy. Especially because they still have that exclusive month of DLC.
But also, like, Ghost came out on 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
So the 360 version was the best selling, I thought.
Yeah. But when it came down to those two.
Yeah, well, that was, like, then, like, that month. Like, this is, like, they've been out long enough, like, enough people had time to buy whichever one they want. They're gonna have enough time to buy one in advance of this, not be rushing out like with the madhouse that was the launch.
There's a Call of Duty bundle too.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
There's a Call of Duty that's worth mentioning. So that's also $50 off. It's not $350 because that's the 1 terabyte version of the Xbox One.
The 1 terabyte.
But Microsoft is still heavily trying to say Call of Duty is an Xbox game. You know what I mean? Trying to associate itself.
Yeah.
Not exclusive, but definitely associate itself with it.
Do we get a Kevin Spacey video with him with his Xbox One playing his own game and he sees himself in the game? Do we get a commercial like that?
Yeah, he's backstage. He's doing some Shakespearean play, and they say, "Kevin, you're about to go on," and he says, "Xbox, pause."
He's shooting House of Cards season 3. And
I
won't spoil anything.
Again.
He's in a certain room, and he's taking his break, because he does play shooters in the series, and he turns on Advanced Warfare. He starts playing it. And
Do you know what controller's in his hand? Like,
he
he's got to
breaks-
have a controller. Or do they have like a fake?
No, they have that ugly Xbox Call of Duty
He
controller.
breaks the fourth wall like he does in the show, and he looks at you, says something funny about like, Call of Duty.
Lost it.
Wow.
Kyle's lost it.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. He's in a certain room. God. All right, let's move on. We've fully explored that.
Wow.
He's gonna look into the camera.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Nintendo had its financial result. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Focus, Kyle. Get back in the game. I'm a professional moderator for a podcast on a popular website.
Cue focus music.
Whew, focus. Okay. Reports was reporting its financial results of the quarter. Nintendo's quality of life hardware was revealed. They said, here's what it is. It's a little thing that watches you sleep.
This is one I wish I had gotten a little bit more time to investigate because I don't understand this at all.
Nobody does. They don't get too specific.
Okay.
They do have
illustrations. You say that you already do this on your phone.
Scary.
Yeah. So what it is, I should explain to everyone.
I don't understand why you
Remember
want your
how
phone
excited they were?
monitoring
They
you.
were just like, it's non-wearable. Okay, just trust us. We're doing quality of life. It's non-wearable. It's going to be about your health. And so what it is, it's like, it looks like the size of a liter of soda, and it just sits by your bed. It sits on your nightstand, and it just watches how you sleep. And the idea is, none of us sleep healthy. I mean, looking at
of course.
Looking at us, none of us sleep
Not
healthy.
this week.
Yeah, we're not healthy sleepers, and so it like watches you sleep. It like lets you know about your sleeping habits, and it lets you know like when you should go to bed. Hey, you're not going to bed at the right time. You should wake up at this time. Things like that. Apparently, it'll work in conjunction with other things. It like gives you suggestions on like how you. Hey, man, like you should be healthy.
Look, mind your own business, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, come on, quality QOL. But yeah, that's the thing. That is what it is. It's a little machine that's going to watch you sleep.
Well, I would say that is a first example of what it. I mean, if they're talking about being in a market.
Sure, absolutely. And they talked a lot about it. Like it's going to be talking to the cloud, their own cloud, about like it's going to upload that data, all of that to that. So you're right, Blood. There's
So
probably
this
going to
is
be
the end of Super Mario Brothers 2 is what we're talking about.
Yeah, we all wake up and like, oh, I feel a little healthier now.
A little cloud over his head, and yeah.
What do you think about it? Can this work?
Described as
Can
disappointing.
the technology work?
Yeah. Well, can this work for Nintendo? Is it disappointing?
Well, Blood just gave me a great idea. Like if it was lets you play games in your dreams, that would have been amazing. But nope.
Wouldn't that have been if that was the announcement?
That would have been like, wow.
We're gonna improve your life.
I want to
wake up
go.
with
I would
achievements,
want to
like-
go to bed more. Like I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock right now. I got to play this game. Going to bed for like 12 hours now.
Wow.
Oh man.
There you go.
Oh, exactly.
Well, now it's a disappointment. Yeah.
Now it's
I
a
want
disappointment.
that.
Yeah, Brandon. Do you think this is a viable business?
No, but they do this all the time. Nintendo with Wii Fit and with the life sensor and.
Well, the life sensor never happens.
Well, but they talked about. Well, this
Yeah.
hasn't. This isn't in stores. They
This
just showed
is-
a prototype, right?
They didn't even show a prototype. They showed an
Yeah.
illustration.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, yeah what?
It's nothing yet. I mean,
Yeah.
but they do this all the time. Like Nintendo, the Wii tells you like you should stop, go outside. Like brain age. Like they're way into that. I think Nintendo always gets really excited because Nintendo's always looking for the thing that will make you say, "Whoa, do you hear about the weird thing Nintendo just announced?" Like
Yeah.
they're the only people doing weird anymore. Like everything else is really predictable and it's just kind of like the scope and quality of it is what we really question. Whereas like Nintendo just loves. Who knows? Maybe this will be huge, and we'll be the ones that will be responsible for it. It is spooky. My wife does use that stuff, and like it is weird when you get up in the morning and like the device is like, you were up for an hour and a half. You were just awake.
So what does your wife have? What does she have?
Well, I don't use what she has because she has a band, and it's like, well, I can't. They said it's non-wearable. It's like that's like the joke to me is that like, oh, we'll monitor your sleep. It's like it'll be weird sleep because I'll have a thing on my wrist, and that'll be tough for me to get comfortable with. So like it is attractive to have something if you're into this tech to have something that just is off.
So I downloaded an app. I put it next to my pillow, and it's using its little gyroscope to like know when I'm wrestling. And same thing. It's like, Kyle, I got to tell you this. At 6 a.m. every morning, you wake up for some reason. I'm like, what? Shut up. And so it is weird. I don't know what to do with that information. But it also, what it does is it wakes me up when I'm not in deep sleep. which is pretty good.
Wait, it wakes you up?
Yeah. So I set my alarm and I say, I want to wake up between this half hour.
Oh.
And so, like, it knows when I'm not, like, zonked out. It's not going to rip me out of deep sleep, which is the worst thing you can do for yourself when you wake up in deep sleep. You're kind of just, your brain hates that. So it's like, it waits for a good time. And it's like, okay, and now I'm going to gently wake you up. And so I really do appreciate it for that.
Well, like whether you were going to commit to Wii Fit, it is fascinating to learn about posture. That like if you're standing still and like leaning on either leg, it doesn't seem like a huge deal. But if you favor that leg for 40 years, then like that is a big deal. And so it's just like interesting to know. Like there are interesting lessons I learned from Brain Age where it wasn't just like, wow, I'm an idiot, or hey, I'm smarter this week, but like, oh, that game actually taught me some interesting thing about brain process that I never even stopped to think about. Whereas people might not stop to think about sleep. Yeah. Whether it's going to be huge in sales or whether you're going to, it's like, oh, thanks Wii Fit for telling me my posture's bad. I didn't then fix my posture through Wii Fit. But it is interesting. But if it's not attractive sales-wise, it's not something that is going to move the needle.
So the one thing that maybe made me think that this could work is I like one of the slides from the presentation, is talking about like, why Nintendo? Nintendo, why are you doing this? And it says, make people enjoy using it every day with Nintendo's video game know-how of hospitality and making people wanting to continue. That is one thing I think Nintendo is actually super good at, is making people wanting to continue. Their words. But I think that's the thing video games do very well. That is what I love about a video game's progression is it makes you want to continue. Do you think like health can work in such a way? We always say like gamification, you know what I mean? That's why like punch cards. That's why you get punch cards at your coffee shop. It's all like you get points, gamification. Your credit card gives you points. Can that work with health? I mean, Brandon, you just said like it kind of doesn't. You know what I mean? Wii Fit told you had bad posture. And you're like, I don't care. I'm not gonna. You don't. What is it? You're not wanting to continue. Can video games do that? Do you think we'll ever get to that point where a video game makes us care enough to be healthy?
No.
Why?
It's probably the reward. Like you would have to like it'd have to be something like Dragon Age, where like Pokemon did that, where you had your little meter that you carry with you, and it would track your steps, and then that would level up your Pokemon.
Didn't Jeremy lose a lot of weight off of one of those things, like the
Nike Fuel Band?
Yeah,
Jeremy's a very smart man.
Like he's a very he did. I don't think again it was one particular company that did that. It was just like it was the time in his life when he was ready to do that, and he made that decision and he committed to it. It was like a marriage of his passion and that tech. But again, he needed to get there. Like that's what we're always going to go around and around on health. Like I've gotten from the point like working out and being athletic where I really didn't like to do it. My dad was a runner and I was just like, running sucks. And now I run half marathons because I like made the decision to do that. Like nothing happened where I was like, oh, that one marathon's great. It was just like, nope, I enjoy this and I get the reward out of doing it. And so you would have to have a game that's like, no, you're only going to get this sniper rifle in Destiny if you go run a mile. And they're like, oh crap, then everyone will just go do it. But if you don't have that requirement, then it's not going to get any more traction than anything else.
What if it actually increased your sprint speed in the game? That would be hilarious.
That'd be cool. Would it ruin a game? Could a game like that work?
I don't think it would ruin a game. It would be really interesting to see it though.
Damiani.
Don't think it would sell well. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't
sell.
understand how they differentiate themselves enough to where people are going to stop and pick that thing up off the shelf rather than downloading another app. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Right. I have this thing on my phone that probably does the same thing. I think what they're saying is like this will integrate with other things. Exactly. I think it's that
and actually there probably is an app that goes along with it. Like they've been talking about those things side by side about how Nintendo will get onto mobile devices.
Yes. Another part of their what they showed and talked about was this talk about Nintendo as a platform, and they're like, platform's not just a little video game console anymore. And then they had smartphones on there as part of its platform, and so they're definitely thinking forward about that in interesting ways. We'll see how this all turns out. But for sure, we do know that there will be a little robot that watches you sleep.
It is kind of ironic because like if you really want good sleep, if you really want to be healthy, you should just leave any Nintendo product alone and then go to bed, But it's just kind of funny to like turn my Wii U off, turn on my little robot sleeper.
Yeah, to tell me that I should stop playing video games. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was up so late just playing games last night. Oh. exactly. They do conflict a little bit. We'll see. They're just too fun. Really little story here that I think is pretty interesting. I think it says a lot. Dying Light. The 7th gen versions of this game have been canceled. You will not get Dying Light on your PS3, and you will not get it on your Xbox 360. Bloodworth just used the word good?
Yeah.
Why?
Because then it's not going to be held back. I mean, so many versions already, and we've been seeing weird stuff, right? Like WWE just came out on PS3 and 360. Ahead of the PS4 and Xbox One versions, and they're probably never going to let us see those things. We'd probably have to go to the store and pick it up, And
sorry, when you mean they aren't going to send review copies of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably won't send them to anybody unless somebody begs them for them, and then who even knows then? But and then last year, Need for Speed Rivals, they put out versions on the old systems, but they were way worse than previous Need for Speed games. They were just cobbled together and hey, we're gonna market with the PS4 version, but here, have your crappy PS3 version if give us the same amount of money.
Yeah.
I think that definitely splitting things up, resources up between that many platforms is it's bad for those versions of the games.
And what's interesting about Dying Light is that its release date has actually been pushed forward. It was March, and then February, and now it's January 27th.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so it's actually been pushed forward, and this might be it. It might be they're just worried about fewer consoles. Do you think though, this time, this is my question. This time next year, how many games, which series will be cross-gen? Who's going to still be doing this a year from now with cross-gen?
Call of Duty.
Madden.
Madden's always a holdout. Madden probably for 2 or 3 more years, to be honest. Yeah. Man, they were doing PS2 versions of Madden so deep into the PS3. Yeah. Anything beyond those though?
Dying Light's also kind of technically a new IP.
Yeah.
So I could see wanting really to get a fresh start.
Sure.
With a brand new thing, and so it's like Assassin's Creed Unity. It's not Assassin's Creed 5. So it's just kind of okay, don't even think of any tie, to the old gens, a brand new thing.
So Borderlands pre-sequel, we probably won't see anything like that again, will we?
Yeah, I think that's probably the end of a huge game that's just being developed specifically for the older machines.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Rogue, probably the last of that.
I'm still not convinced that they aren't going to do some kind of Ultimate Edition or something for the newer consoles later on.
Sure.
But I mean, you can kind of now that I played the game, you can kind of see why it's if you just put out that game with PC specs on a new console, it would have underwhelmed.
Little jank.
Not necessarily jank, but it's just the assets and stuff aren't up. They're they didn't do anything new with that engine.
Sure.
Still on Unreal 3 or whatever, I think.
So Damiani, we closed the book on 7th gen. Is that all done? Can we wrap that up?
Still got Persona 5.
Persona 5 is coming to PS4.
And PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cross.
That is cross.
It's probably going to be one of the last ones.
It probably, Persona's always a little weird and behind.
They're always really late, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would all have to be behind closed doors, and I don't think anything is so far along in development right now that still hasn't been announced, that there isn't some meeting in some boardroom somewhere where they're do we really want to do this? Do we really want to make that investment?
I think it is encouraging. I think for a long time, leading up to the launch of the 8th gen, it was just well, we simply can't afford to make our game only on the new consoles. It's you can afford it now. They're doing best on the new consoles, further, way faster than anyone expected. And so yeah, I think it is encouraging to see that canceled. I'm sorry though if you were planning on playing Dying Light on your Xbox 360 or PS3. That blows for those people.
Yeah. Although it could have been worse if they had a mess of a game that they paid $60
Yeah, these games
for.
are being designed for these consoles. That's the other, they're not done with Dying Light yet, but they're getting into the finishing phase, and then it was just they looked at, there's that whole other thing we got to do. We got to dumb this game down for the old gen.
Yeah.
And it's let's not even bother with it. Kind of the focus on Unity as opposed to to Rogue. That's just I don't want any next gen people working on Rogue. I'll put all those next gen people in the other room working on Unity. Everybody, all hands on deck. And just let's what Assassin's Creed had done before. It's let's they couldn't put Ezio down because they're just we put so much work into this character and this engine, and these environments and this whole team that's just so good at this. Borderlands, it's like, let's just do it again. Do it
Yeah.
one more time.
No,
because
they gave
you
it a
guys-
different team.
Yeah, that was 2K Australia.
But even just the pipeline, even just
Yeah.
the
Sure.
format of what they had done, and just the process of getting casting all those people and getting the assets together.
You're right. That is a whole thing. That's like it's like TV, you know what I mean? And just making a new game is just such a, oh my gosh, all the assets and engine and everything. Yeah, it is always best to, I feel like, reuse a game. But I feel like the gas is out, you know what I mean? I think like 7th gen is pretty much done. There's no way Persona 5 will sell better on PS3 than it does on PS4. I'm saying it now.
Yeah.
Just cancel it. Cancel that PS3 version. Isn't that hard? It's so hard to say that because there are people who own a PS3. It's just like, well, what about me? Like, come on, you want me to buy a $350 console or a $400 console? Yeah, it's tricky, but people are buying them clearly. Always a hard decision, I guess. Next news story. We got a Drive Club update, our weekly Drive Club update.
From Yoshida.
Yeah, Shuhei Yoshida, president of Sony Worldwide Studios, friend of the show. Not really. I'm not
Friend of the other show, your show.
friend of Final Bossman. Had to write a letter to everyone saying, hey, Drive Club for PS Plus, the free version, has been delayed indefinitely.
Well, that was midway through the letter. But
that was the purpose of the letter.
no, the purpose of the letter was to say, we're sorry that Drive Club is a complete mess for everybody that bought it.
Sure. Yeah, that is also part of it.
And we're working around the clock, but we don't know how long it's going to take to fix it. And we've got outside engineers working on it to help evolution and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. All those ridiculous little social things are really dragging down whatever server issues they're having.
And it's so funny because like the day before launch, I was like so worried that complaining about network issues was just going to be pointless.
Right,
They were like, this is all going to get ironed out on the launch day, and I'm not going to have to worry about this, but I'm going to, I'll keep it in the script.
That's what we're talking about. As a reviewer,
Yeah.
you have to
I played
choose.
the game that nobody else has played.
Right. You have to choose whether to talk about network issues or not. You know, that's because
Yeah.
sometimes they are ironed out quickly and sometimes they persist. Like, how do you deal with that, Blood? In this situation, you talked
In
about
this
the network
situation, I
issues.
talked about what I experienced, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing that it's like I can't predict what somebody else is going to experience. I can't make apologies for it based on them saying that like, oh, we're working on this behind the scenes. You know, I can just say, okay, this is what I experienced, and it's really late for this still to be happening, and hopefully, because, but to me, it's like it's hard because like in some cases, like obviously like an MMO, like you always know that those first week or whatever is going to be kind of a mess, and so like most of the time we can't even start playing an MMO and judging it until it's out. But sometimes like we know that those situations are situations like, okay, well we need to wait and kind of see how things come out. But like most multiplayer games, most of the time it's we're judging how the game is designed. We're judging how things kind of feel like they're balanced and that sort of thing, and not necessarily the service, because the service can change one day to the next.
It also can go the other way, where
Yeah.
Battlefield is reviewed in a closed situation where everything is great,
Yeah.
and then once that goes out into the open world, does not hold up.
Yeah, but but that happens with all kinds of bugs
Yeah.
in games. Where like play through a game, don't see any bugs. All these people come and start complaining about bugs and why we didn't talk about them. I was like, well, I didn't see the bugs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played through that whole game. I spent 30 hours on that game and I didn't see your bugs. So yeah, it's annoying. Especially with Drive Club, because I feel like I have a little bit of an egg on my face because people aren't playing this game that I talked about so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this game that I played doesn't exist yet until they get all this stuff fixed. It does not exist right now. I would not necessarily recommend people play the game that is out there right now. That I would say to wait until it's all fixed.
And so my question is, when this game is fixed, is there still a possibility this could succeed? Do you know what I mean? Is this game dead? Damiani, is Drive Club dead?
Dead
I
Club.
I don't want to say like no, or I don't want to say yes to it because there's been examples of other games.
Very particular games.
However, these circumstances seem a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whether or not Sony cares enough. I mean, they're issuing statements. It's just whether or not they do a big enough push when it comes back and get good word of mouth.
Well, I think that's where that's the thing. That's why the PS Plus version is delayed. They don't. Number one, like the servers don't need any more strain as it is. But number two is like once they put that out there, they want that to be the game that they want to represent, and then people are digging it, then they'll buy into it. But I think that there's definitely a pretty good faction, a pretty good group of people that are enjoying just even the single player experience and the driving model and getting better at that. I think it'll be challenging to maybe get them to come back after they've kind of been done with the game afterwards.
Yeah, so this is actually interesting.
But I think that it could still pick up steam after that PS Plus version comes out.
What could this studio learn from Final Fantasy XIV, Damiani? What could they learn? What is the lesson from Final Fantasy XIV?
So the problem with 14 wasn't like its server stuff though. The problem with 14 was
design.
Its design was garbage.
Yeah.
And they just decided to go back to the drawing board and like, all right, we need to be humble here. We need to realize that other people have been making better MMOs than we have for years now, and we need to like maybe look to them for inspiration and also address what people were complaining about. And two, are we going to fund this? Because that's a lot. I mean, an MMO is a huge investment. So going back to the drawing board and going back to do that again, that's insanity.
And they were offering it for free for a really long time too.
That could have like the company was already doing. It was in like a little bit of dire straits with the financial stuff.
Yeah.
That could have really almost sunk that company if that game didn't do at least decently to start making them some money. Like if it flopped again, not just the damage to the brand, but the damage to like the company's like bottom line because they sunk all that money. So that's a bigger investment, I feel. But that was like game problems, not server problems. It seems like the people actually played Drive Club, the sentiment was either to decent game to pretty good game when you actually got to like play it if it worked for you.
Yep.
Versus this is more like the server issues. It seems like it doesn't seem like the game's actually like bad. Like man, this like the handling of these cars is garbage and stuff. Like it's not like that's not the problem. So as soon as they get it up and running, they just need to do another like push. And I feel like it can, and especially the free version ready to go. Like okay, guys, it's free. Go get it. It's ready to go. It's like, and we're gonna give you some more. They give some concessions out because of the delay. I think this is an easier thing for them to come back from. It's just so fickle, the consumer's mind, whether they're going to care about it by that point.
Yeah.
It's just they need to do it at the right time. I think they can't put it too close to other big key releases. It needs to have like its own like kind of like week or 2 weeks. Like, hey guys, Drive Club time. Like, it's back. It's better. It's working.
Well, I mean, and two, they do have like a full schedule of things that they're planning to roll out. So yeah, even something is like when they do that weather update. If people that have put the game down come back and they want to see the new weather systems, and then they get hooked into the challenges and stuff like that, and it could bring people back in.
It's so hard for me to imagine a world where people are just as excited for a weather update as people are for an expansion in an MMO. Do you know what I mean?
Rain
it's
and
like,
snow
we gotta
makes
check
a
out that
huge
rain and
difference.
snow. Come on, let's hop back into Drive Club.
What do you do if you're Yoshida? If you're in that position, like you can't fix the code. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You didn't design this game. You have no idea. It could be fixed in an hour. It could be fixed next week.
It's probably so frustrating. Yeah.
So what do you do? Like when do you? If you have a bunch of content that you want to add, it's like, do you hold it off and release it? Once every couple weeks or something, just kind of like so you don't create this huge uproar, so everybody jumps back into this game at the same time and then breaks the servers again, and then it gets like a further negative stigma. Like.
So you know what I think I would do? I think what sucks is that Drive Club was pitched as it's going to be free on PS Plus when you get a PS4, and that was very appealing at the time. I think you need to give a big game away for free. I think like that you have to do that. I think you have to say this is we're going to take a hit here, but here's a game. Here's Little Big Planet 3 for free until Drive Club for free is ready. Do you know what I mean? I would do that. I think is what I would do. Damiani's got something.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne for free.
Game over.
Oh, boy.
Game over. It would be game over. Gosh, maybe. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
PlayStation Plus subscribers, you get Bloodborne for free.
Yeah. Or like
for like maybe for for a month.
Or the DLC for free or something. Basically, yeah, I feel like some sort of action needs to be like, thank you for the apology, but probably some action taken on this.
Because you can't. It's one thing to like talk about a franchise or talk about a new IP or something that's like, oh wait, deep down, like what's this game going to be? And it's like, oh wait, just wait. Like we're going to do lots of exciting things. Like before 15 got announced, like just wait for E3. Like we're going to all sorts of fun things to announce. Whereas like you can't talk about servers anymore. You can't like pitch an online game and be like, just wait. It's like you don't know. There's no way you could guarantee to me that this is actually going to function.
Yeah.
And so that's why like Kickstarter games or independent games, you at least have the vibe, this connection to the developer that it's like we're all kind of on the same page. We're all on the ground floor here. So it's like, is this going to work? I don't know. Fingers crossed. We'll see. We're a new company. We're just trying to put this together. Whereas if you're Sony, it's like it's gotta work. You know? And so I just don't envy their position. It's not a situation where I look at Sony and I'm like, wow, you guys aren't handling this well, but it's not something where like, oh, you clearly screwed up. It's like, how would you know? If you're a businessman at Sony, how would you have any idea that this game was not going to work? Because all you're doing is just being told it will. That's the best you can do.
Yeah.
And run tests. You ran a test. You reviewed the game. It worked. It was great.
Yeah.
It's like from their perspective, everything was humming.
It was a new studio. It's a new studio. Their first game. And
Who?
Evolution?
No, they're not a new studio. They've been around for a decade.
Really?
Over a decade.
What are their previous games? Why
Instacart.
Motorstorm.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
Motorstorm team?
Yeah.
Wow.
They did stuff long before that too.
So it's the stupid social stuff, really, that's like slogging them down.
Yeah, it's whatever.
What is the social stuff? Before we move on, can you very clearly explain like what is the social stuff in this game?
I mean, there's multiple layers of it. I mean, one of the things is that you can send. I mean, well, you can be in a club. So it's like six people in a club, and then you can send challenges to each other. Like you can create your own challenge, like all the variability.
Nothing sounds crazy yet. That sounds like normal stuff still.
But you like send club challenges and then there's stuff like within a race where like you go around the corner or whatever. But none of it seems like crazy except for I guess how much that feed is like filtering in from other people.
So actually, I do remember that. I remember watching you, and it would be like, got to beat this guy. Did the best drift for this part of the
Right.
track, and so while you're in a race, there were sub objectives within the race, and like challenging your time against other times. That must be it. That must be like what is.
Yeah, I
so
mean the
much.
challenge system I think is completely down right now. Oh, and then the way the actual multiplayer events like roll in are kind of a little weird too. Just like this revolving door of events, and then you pick one, but like it's only available for like a couple of minutes, and then they roll in new events.
So it's just constant data streaming in.
Yeah, I
guess.
think there's just so much stuff streaming in and comparing to other people that must be what it's doing.
Maybe they'll come out someday. Maybe it'll be huge. Strive Club time. Introducing a new segment this week.
That I won't be able to participate in.
Okay, Daniel Bloodworth has to step out for a
Yeah.
new segment.
Wow.
I actually had
doesn't
stuff I
happen
wanted to say
often.
about it too. But,
Whisper it into Damiani's ear, and he'll be your surrogate. All right, good luck with your appointment.
Insert cardboard version of Daniel Bloodworth.
Why don't you scoot closer?
Bloodboard.
Let's get
Because
comfy.
we're gonna Photoshop Bloodworth.
We're
back
not
in
photo.
here.
We don't have time for that. You got to scooch in.
All right.
I'm about as close to Damiani as I want to be right now. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm worried about the microphone. This is as far as the mic will go.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, we're refocused. We're being professional again. We're back in. New segment is called, "Well, you're the one who started this conversation." And what this is, you don't
Sounds like a
that face.
sitcom.
That's
I
like,
feel-
that's like a catchphrase on your afternoon comedy show.
That's nobody's catchphrase. They're the one who started this
Sounds like something
conversation.
I'd hear in
that's
How I
yours.
Met Your Mother.
No, How We
Yes.
Met Your Mother's just like legendary. It's like it's all I don't
Something
know.
like Lily would say in How I Met Your Mother.
No, this is a thing that people say. You're the one who started this conversation. Anyway, what this segment is, a popular request is just like, hey, why don't you, in the comments, why don't you let us pick some topics? And I'm fine with that.
Joy.
You don't come on.
Well, why don't you let us suggest topics, and then you'll pick one of the topics we suggest.
You're right. And one of the more frequent requests of something like, hey, I would really like to hear what you have to say about this, is a trailer for a game called Hatred. Hatred
which is a negative game. I mean, who'd have thought, With a title like that, I saw Hatred coming, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, no. There's no way you see the word
clearly
hatred,
a Katamari Damacy clone.
but still, you don't think of what that actual trailer is when you see the. You're still shocked. You see the word hatred, you're like, okay, this is gonna be dark, and you're like, this is dark.
It's like a horror game.
It's worse than a horror game.
I know.
What do you two think about? How would you describe this trailer? Brandon Jones, what is this trailer? What is Hatred?
It's gross.
Yeah, but to anyone who's not even familiar with it, what is that? What happens in this trailer?
You're a guy who looks like the guy from Darkness, and you hate people, and you take automatic weapons, and it's isometric, right? Isn't it? Like
it is top down.
It's top down, but it looks like they have like executions where like you can go in and do execution animations, and so the camera will get in close and tight on him for the gruesome executions. And it's like state of emergency with like no personality at all. You know, it's like you just take all of the kind of fun rock star whatever vibe that they were going for there, and just add like just lots of death metal and angst and
it appears that
fear
the point of this game is to kill as many regular people as you can before you die. You want to die. The character's just like, I'm ready to kill
and that's really
die.
And so I mean, you can talk about the game and you can talk about, because if this game got announced, nobody would care. It was really the trailer. It was really like
the trailer,
seeing the video and seeing like
people say no, and he's like, no, I'm still gonna shoot you in the mouth.
Yeah.
He didn't say that explicitly, but he does. Someone is saying no, please don't.
Yeah.
And he puts a gun in that person's mouth and pulls the trigger.
But it really, I mean, one thing that it is an interesting commentary on. We didn't talk about it. Let's look at the trailers. We didn't talk about it in here because it's just like it's just dumb. Like I don't really want to talk about things that people shouldn't know. You know, it's like, well, it's really up to us to tell people that this is not. You know,
sure,
we don't approve of this content. Like it's dumb. It's a bad trailer. It's a bad concept for a game. It's not even, and I gotta admit, there was like a tiny little bloodlust in me when he like stepped out of the house, and I was like, oh, here we go. You know, it's like I could probably be bored and play this game. You know, if it was like super cheap or something, like I could probably run around. And then like I was just tired of it because it's really important to me. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises, but if like I don't care about the main character, I'm not going to continue playing the game.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about what this character's doing, or like I don't want to see any kind of resolution. And it's like I just don't care about that experience. Like the world seems boring to me. It doesn't seem like there's a lot going on there.
I guess I would ask this question. Is this a harmless outlet? If somebody Damiani, do you think like this is like a harmless way to let out violent tendencies?
I mean, I'm always going to say that like video games don't necessarily have a direct impact on what you're going to do in your personal life.
Right.
So I don't want people to ever feel restricted as developers that like I can't make this type of game. Mm-hmm. I think there are a few lines you can cross. I feel like what I saw of this game is just, I kind of agree with Jones that like I feel like this is a game like you might get your kicks out of it for a little bit, and it's just gonna get boring after a while. Even if you like are completely desensitized, you don't like the violence and turn you off, like whatever. Like, you know, there are other killing games out there. This one's trying to be a little bit more like, oh, like you're borderline, like you're a terrorist and you're killing innocent people. It's trying to be like edgy and like, you know, kind of get a rise out of people. But it's like, I think after like probably 30 minutes of that game, you'll be like, is there anything else more to this? Do I do anything? Like, okay, cool. It's like, all right, I killed some people in a video game. Congratulations. What else do I do now?
It's lacking Nintendo's skill of making people want to continue.
Well, it's like the video game equivalent of like running into a movie theater and yelling fire. It's like, will it get a reaction? Like, of course, he yelled fire. You know, it's like, will this offend people? Like, of course it will, because there's no subtext to it. There's no, backstory to this guy about like why he's doing this. So it's like all of the controversy and nothing to sink your teeth into, because there's no, and it's so obvious of something for parents to get upset about and to point their fingers and be like, see, that's the problem with the games industry, not realizing that 99% of the people in the games industry all think it's ridiculous and we're not going to play the game. Like, that game's not going to sell really well.
Right.
Again, I don't buy Grand Theft Auto for the violence. I buy it because it's like, oh my God, it's in LA. That's crazy. Like, wow, these stories are really cool. These characters are really cool. I want to get, although everybody always pisses all over the campaigns for some reason in Grand Theft Auto games. But like, I do want to finish them. I have finished every one. I am fascinated to see
they
what
work
happens
to make you
these
care about that character.
Right.
They put a lot of care into the character.
I want to kind of try to figure out like who you're referencing, what the joke is here. If there's a little thing pops up on the map, like, oh, I want to see what that is. Like, look, doesn't look like there's anything on the map here. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, you just
nothing to really dig into.
Go into the police station and see how much kills you can rack up.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the more we've gone along in the history of games, like violent shock value is just like become diminished. Like we had Mortal Kombat. We had like everyone's like, oh, cool to do fatalities. Then we had Grand Theft Auto. Oh, it's just fun to go around and run over people for no reason. Like, and they each had their outcries. We had reactions to them, and it's like, okay, at this point now, like Grand Theft Auto, it's like, oh, cool, you can run over people. Like, whoop-de-doo. Like, it's how it's gone in games. I think the last one we had to deal with probably was the no Russian level in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, right? I wanted to get that wrong.
Yes.
It was Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
that was the last one. Was because it was like so close to like home for people, like going into an airport and shooting people. It's like, oh no, like bad stuff happening in airports and like dealing with planes and stuff like that. That connotation was just like, it might be touchy for some people, and also just like shooting innocent people. It's like in that setting, like mass murder of that. It was like that caused some like outcry, but then people were like, you know what? It's just a video game at this point, like whatever. Like it's just
I'd
it's
say
not doing anything.
also that's way different.
Yeah.
They were trying to hurt you with that level. They were trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a conversation. You
Yeah.
can actually like bring up topics. Well, it's like, well, if you actually know the story, it's an interesting comment on going undercover, and you know, it's like every time you look at a terrorist group, like they're not all robots, they're all individual people. So like maybe some of the people in that group didn't want to do it, or maybe
Yeah.
it's like again, it's what's great about video games is like puts you in the position of actually thinking like, oh, I'm this person. How would I feel?
And this one's just like, hey, how does a mass murderer feel?
You're not even a person. Yeah,
Let's
it's
look
like
at how he
you don't
feels.
have a name. Like we didn't get any introduction to this guy whatsoever. All we got an introduction to are like his emotions. It's just
Yeah.
pure emotion.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. Again, there's nothing to
What if
to
that's
talk about.
it?
The only reason they wrote the script, the guy was typing the script for the Hatred trailer, and every single word that he typed in wasn't to convey to you the story, wasn't to actually make you think about what it would be like to be this person. It's I'm going to piss you off. Every single line's like, oh man, this is going to piss them off even more. Oh wait, no, delete, delete, delete. This is going to piss them off even more. And it did. I mean, it's like it's a master stroke of trollism. I mean, it's like, it's like, wow, way to go for creating something that's completely empty and just only serves to piss people off and to thanks a lot to take us back to the 90s. It's like, oh great, now we're back to the Mortal Kombat Genesis era of parents being like, that's despicable. It's like, please, let's move on.
And I think what you brought up is the funniest thing. The huge difference is Mortal Kombat's a good game. Like Hatred probably won't be remembered because it doesn't look like a good game.
Yeah, and I think we'd be in a dead horse's point, but
Yeah.
like,
Well,
it
consider
doesn't
Hatred.
even like explore like the psyche of that person. Like, at least I mean, I haven't played it, but like that trailer doesn't give you any insight into like what drove this person to like this level of insanity. Are you to deal with like people who have like mental issues, like they're dealing with like severe depression, like some kind of like disorder or something, like they're trying to explore that, or are they just trying to do commentary on like how people have an outlet for like anger like in real life? Like none of that's like expressed at all. Like they're not even trying to even have constructive criticism or even make an avenue for constructive criticism about any kind of like issues with that. Just like, here it is as it is, like just cut and dry. And it's like, it's exactly as you said, Jones. It's just like, I just want to like shock people. Like this is
This will really good.
in this scene right here, like, oh man,
That's what the trailer should be. It should be a guy like
these
his
parents
laptop,
are
like,
freaking out
"Nah."
right now. Yeah, and like this is gonna get me on Fox News right now. Yeah, I'm famous.
But it's not some weird mobile game. Like a whole team of people made this.
Yeah. I did
There's a
think
whole
about
team
that.
of dudes like,
Yeah.
show up every day in black t-shirts and tats.
Like I have to design this police officer's uniform, who I know is an enemy in my game. Oh my gosh, well, there's enemy in plenty of games. There it is. That was what's the name of this segment again? That was, well, you're the one who started this conversation.
And that was the last episode.
No, I'm going to do that every week. I'm really excited to just take whatever people throw at us.
What if it's the Hatred trailer again? That's all people. Just every
If
week.
you want us to talk about it again, we'll do it. We'll do it. We do this for you. We don't just talk in a room for each other.
Yeah.
Well, do we? Closing bet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Blood doesn't even get a bet. We'll have Ian bet for Blood.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare releases next week. Big release. How many words are in the last sentence Kevin Spacey speaks? This is really funny. A little behind the scenes. Brandon Jones knows. He knows the answer to this question.
And tell me how to put this even here.
He reviewed.
It's a really good setting for the bet this week.
He reviewed the game. No, I don't remember the last line of any video game. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what the last line was of Costume Quest, which I just finished last night. So to me, that the answer is pretty insane.
But I proved myself last week because I remembered the statement made by the death threat to Gabe Newell. I called that out.
Yeah. So apparently Brandon has a great memory for quotations. Fortunately, you can go last. It's my turn to pick to go first or last. Clearly, I'm going first.
Okay.
So Brandon Jones has last. So if nobody gets it before Brandon, Brandon's just going to win this bet this week.
Yay!
So Ian's rolling in.
I gotta turn on my mic.
Ian, we should have had you for this entire time after Bloodworth left.
Yeah, I could talk about hatred.
Wait, how do you feel
Ian
about
knows plenty about hatred.
We'll wait until you're on microphone.
I'll go on this mic. Release. There we go.
So everyone, Ian has been behind the scenes this entire episode, but now he's hopping on mic.
Hi.
Hello, Ian. What do you? Really quick, we're on the bet, but how do you feel about hatred?
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of said what I would say, but it's just like, yeah, it's like, it's 1996, I'm an angsty kid and I want to shoot up my school, but I'm not going to do it. I want a game to simulate that. Like, that's morally reprehensible. But, I mean, I guess on the flip side, sort of like what you were saying, like, if that game prevents some asshole kid from shooting someone in real life, great. Like, then it's good, I guess.
Right. If that saves one life, it's absolutely good.
If some kid is twisted enough to actually want to play that horrible game, that morally reprehensible pile of trash, and it prevents them from being a horrible person in real life, then great.
What if that was that's their intent?
What
It's
if
just
that's
like,
their sales pitch?
Yeah.
They're all like Harvard
man.
psychology
If that was your-
professors,
yeah.
and they're like, we want to create a game to prevent the next school shooting.
we'll show them how
Like,
awful it would be.
catering to
Yeah. That'd be cool.
But I doubt that was their
That's
intention.
not it.
So yeah, it seems it's in poor taste at the best.
Great. Thank you, Ian, for your
Yeah.
input on that. Appreciate it. My bet for Kevin Spacey's final line. Power is what you make of it. And
Wow.
you have it. 11 words.
Okay.
What?
So this last
Power
sentence,
is what you make of it, and you have it.
that's a terrible sentence.
Yeah, I know.
These guys aren't Shakespeare, so
Yep. So, Ian, please bet for Bloodworth.
he's next. I sit here.
Oh, you're right. Damiani's on the end. Yeah.
So I have to like.
You don't have to do it. No. Just give me a
look at
number.
the camera and he's just gonna say, "It's good to be me."
Ooh,
words.
his final sentence is, "It's good to be me." Ian, what?
Well, what are we counting as a sentence? Because like, if he's like splattering blood and it's all broken up, like
I think what's funny is we all assume he dies in this game.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably does. I don't know.
If his final, we'll go final capitalization
Okay.
to period. You just got to start blurring
I had,
like I
had
did.
a number, but I don't know how this sentence. It's gonna be something like short. Like he's gonna say like it's gonna be like 2 or 3 words. He's gonna
Okay.
just say like, "You bastard,"
So 2. You're going with
2.
2. Okay. 2.
or something like that.
Brandon, what is your bet? 1.
Damn it! I was gonna say one.
No. Final capitalization to period is
It's
1.
it's very clear.
Oh my
It
gosh.
says a word.
Wow.
He says "fuck" as he's falling from something.
It's power.
Boom! Then it explodes. He says "shit" and then something explodes that he's in.
Something is never not exploding. And
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Or a building falls over, because it has to happen at least once in every Call of Duty or Battlefield game.
So that kind of a spoiler. Did we just spoil it for everyone? Kevin Spacey's last sentence is 1 word. You heard it here first on GameTrailers.
Magnolias! They're just gonna fall off the table and then they do and the game ends.
Tea. Iced tea. Would you like a cup of water? Yes.
Yes!
That's it. That's the last sentence.
What kind of sandwich do you want? Turkey. To the secretary. The credits roll. I hope the game ends like that. Like he's won or
Yeah,
something, and
yeah,
someone
yeah.
asks him what kind of sandwich he wants, and he just says, ham.
Am I?
And then it just ends.
So I want to point out that like 1 word is not a sentence.
Sure it is.
Yeah. We had to
No.
clarify. In this case, it does. The clarification is first capital to period.
Yeah. Sentences can be 1 word.
Yeah.
Sentences can be
Subject,
100 words.
conjugated verb. Pretty.
When writing, I would consider you can do, if you're writing dialogue, absolutely 1 word could be a sentence.
No.
Ham.
See?
Ham can be a sentence. You can say a lot with just the word ham.
If there's a period after.
I hope his final word is English.
What does that mean?
Just the word English?
Learn it.
Oh, he's trolling me. That was mocking me. Everyone, that's the end of this week's episode. Got to end with a good Damiani troll, a good burn. English, learn it. The winner of last week's bet. Oh, I forgot we have to do this. This sucks. Okay, so
I hope it was blood.
last week's bet was how many user reviews there would be for NBA Live 15
Okay.
on Amazon.com for the PlayStation 4.
My number was high, I remember.
Yeah,
It was up
there are 10.
Yeah, it wasn't 10.
I bet 15. Damiani bet 5. Which means there's another GT time tiebreaker.
What did Bloodworth bet?
He was too high too.
27.
Yeah. So
Should have bet 7.8.
should have bet
would've said
7.8.
6.
So we got to do a tiebreaker. We do Thunderdome. We do this stupid improv game where a category is brought up, and then we each have to say something within that category back to back to back.
Okay.
Damiani, since you have the most points, you actually have to defend. So you start.
What's the category?
Ian will decide because he is
Okay.
Bloodworth's surrogate.
And it can be just like anything?
Yes. Yeah. But it's got to be something that there are a lot of things within.
Right.
And you got to warn us before you say that. Don't just blur something out.
Yeah.
Damiani, are you ready?
Not really.
Yeah, this is so hard, dude. I said bugs last time. I'd never forget. Okay, let's go.
my God.
Let's go. Here
You
we
do
go.
all this to yourself. The music that plays, all of this stuff. It's all
Yeah,
you're doing.
I know. There's music in my brain right now.
Female main characters in video games.
Lara Croft.
Lightning.
Samus.
Oh, God. I lose! No, I lose!
God.
I like to point out that
Is
you
God
went
a female?
to,
Wait.
you went to
is
Lightning
God
before
a
you did
female
Samus.
and in a game?
What's up?
You said, oh God.
No, it doesn't count. What
Only
else is
in
there?
Dogma.
What else could I have done? I guess the character from
Bayonetta.
Wet.
Oh my gosh.
Bayonetta, good.
There are a lot.
I think that's a very interesting
Final
comment
Fantasy
on the
VI.
status
Yeah.
of women
Start
in
going
video
to Final
games.
Fantasy games.
None of those
Yeah.
are main characters.
Oh,
The main
what?
character
I
in
guess
Final
that's a main
Fantasy VI
character.
is female. They're
Beyond
like
Good and
two-
Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Mirror's
There's a
Edge.
bunch. I don't know her name from
Hack and
Mirror's
Slash
Edge.
girl.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, you don't have to know her name, maybe. I
You
don't
do.
know.
You would have
All
to
right,
say.
yeah,
her
I guess
name.
you have to
You
know.
said characters. Oh my gosh.
The terrible
I was
Ninja
gonna say
Theory game
Pokemon.
on PS3.
That would have been good.
I was gonna say characters from Final Fantasy, but then I was like, I'm way.
Kyle, if you
leaning
can
it
name
that
more
way.
Pokemon than women in gaming,
There's
It's about the same,
there's a
Kyle.
problem with
Female
the world.
trainer. You could have said female trainer.
We Fit trainer, female.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Just get really
Peach.
cheap.
You're right.
Peach.
Princess
That's
Peach
a
has
good
her
way to
own
win that game
game.
is to go straight to like a category that you can really
you can
explore.
pick.
So if
Oh,
you went to
yeah,
Smash
like
Bros, you
Shepard.
could have you could have been like Lucina, Palutena. You know what I mean? You could have done all this. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But I did say, did I say main characters?
You said main
So
characters.
I don't know. That implies narrative games.
so you
You're
should
right.
practice more at the game you invented.
You could have even done the
game
last
you
one.
brought to the
He's
show.
never gonna know.
So what
in the
you
last
just
movie.
listened to, everyone? Damiani won himself another point
Samus.
with
You didn't even
Samus.
have to say Aaron.
Yeah. Zelda's the main character.
Yeah, I know.
Could've said Zelda.
I had a. As soon as you said that, I was like Nintendo.
Yeah.
I like
of
10
course.
characters.
Nintendo actually does
Nintendo's
have a lot of
pretty good,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
good. They're good about.
Like I have
female
like 10 characters now, and then I was buying more time to like, all right, think of third-party characters. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Bayonetta.
Is
obviously.
Toad a boy? Did we figure that out?
Toad's a
ever?
man.
Toad's a
Yeah, Toad's a
okay.
man. Because Toadette.
Toad's all man.
Toadette
Which
is his woman.
Birdo is a.
Birdo's a woman. Damiani likes to think it's a man who used to be a woman.
Huh?
No,
I thought
Bloodworth
it's a-
does.
It says that in the instruction
It's a
booklet, right?
trans woman.
Yeah, but it
Used
says
to be a man, but now
the
is a
instruction
woman.
booklets say a lot of things. They say that like all the bricks in
Birdo
the Mushroom
shoots
Kingdom are
eggs.
former people. What's up?
I guess it's just confusing, like what Birdo started off as biologically, and then what
Yo,
they
Yoshi
identify
makes
as.
eggs.
I
Making
think
eggs
Birdo-
does not make
Birdo
you
is
male or
trans,
female
I
in the
think.
video games world.
Nature finds a way.
Nintendo just needs to like get it over with, and explain it.
That's the thing is like it's offensive no matter what they say.
Not really.
And
Why
that's
is it
why
offensive?
It's a
because if they
fictional,
say
like,
actually
creature. It's not
Birdo
a
isn't
person.
trans, then it's offensive. It's like, oh what? She shouldn't be? You know what I mean? And then
But if it is, if she is trans, how is that offensive?
it gets families mad.
Well, that's not offensive. That's people
Well,
being
Zelda-
bigoted.
Right, yes, that is
That's
true.
people
It's
being
right,
bigots.
that's not
You,
offensive,
you
yeah.
should offend those people.
Yeah.
What's the character
Well-
from? Is it Street Fighter?
It's Final
talking
Fight.
about
Who's
Poison.
trans? Poison. Yeah.
Yeah, Poison's in Street Fighter, you're right.
Yeah.
And so for Poison, it was an instruction book thing. It's just like people will feel better about punching this person if it's trans. That was the reason.
Right.
And that's why Capcom won't do it, is they're afraid to take a stance.
What
'cause
about
if they-
Chun-Li and like
What?
Cammy? They're all women. People hit them,
Yeah.
and no one ever was concerned. Equality.
Yeah. Well, Final Fight, I think, predates Street Fighter 2. But anyway, yeah, there's just dumb instruction book writers like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable punching this
know.
beautiful woman.
Oh.
Let's make her a tranny. Like, what? Like, that's less offensive? God. Don't you feel better about punching her now? That like, no, that's worse. That's way worse.
It's not worse. It's the same.
It's the same.
I'd say in a fighting game,
I guess your rationale makes it worse.
If
Like,
a woman
I want to punch you
has
now.
joined a fighting society, it's okay to fight that woman.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
if they've enrolled themselves in a fighting thing, like treat them like everybody else.
Yeah. So
I want there to be I want some game to have like a character in a wheelchair in a fighting game. Has that ever happened?
What do you do?
Fighting game.
Where their arms are like super strong and they could go onto one arm and like whip their chair at you.
There's a fun hidden character in Tekken 3, Dr. Boskanowicz, who will fall over on the floor, and you do feel bad for beating him up.
I love that name. Yeah, Dr. Boskanowicz.
Yeah, you do feel bad for beating that guy up. But what if he was transsexual? Does that feel good now? Like, no, it doesn't make it good now.
What about this if it was a trans man? Yeah. Someone who was assigned female at birth that transitioned to male.
Don't you want to beat him up now?
Would you feel worse about beating up a trans man than a trans woman?
I really love what this episode turned into. Damiani, you're
trying to
supposed to
beat
close
me
us
up?
out. It's your chance.
Yeah, if they're trying to
Get us
beat me
out of
up,
this.
I would fight them.
That's a good point.
Anyone.
Self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to fight anyone. Doesn't matter what you got in your pants.
But
I'm
if
gonna
a
fight
child comes at you fighting you,
Gonna fight
Do
your
they have a
child.
weapon?
fight them with
Absolutely.
kid gloves.
Kid's
They
got
have
a
a
weapon.
weapon.
Kid has a weapon.
They have
yeah.
like a gun.
So
Yeah,
your
kid
own,
has a gun.
Okay. then we're
I'm saying
going
your
on.
own prejudice
Yeah.
still comes into effect if it's self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we're gonna close it out now.
Yeah, it's your response. Sorry.
That was our news segment.
Ian comes in and ruins the show.
No. So which camera is it again?
The short one.
There we go. Hi, short camera. So thanks again for watching. The video I'm going to suggest is should be going up the day you're watching this. Pop Fiction is back, and it's Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
And it's not Ben Drown, because Ben Drown is stupid and is not a real myth. So this is an actual myth that was like around when people started playing Majora's Mask. So I hope
It is
you find.
creepy.
I hope you, and yeah, it's in the
it?
spirit of
Creepy myth.
Halloween.
see it.
It's in the spirit of Halloween. It has to do with like death and like a morbid tale. So hope everyone enjoys it. If you like any of us, you can follow us on Twitter. I actually don't know how the name's gonna appear, and I guess Bloodworth is gonna appear somewhere without Bloodworth here.
He doesn't get his Twitter thing.
He's got like a
Okay.
spooky ghost hanging
If
over
I
here.
remember, I'll switch it to myself.
And a quick shout out to Monday, November 3rd. Watch our live stream from 8 to 10 of Indie Games Live.
It's two plugs. That's the second time that one got it.
We can
I approve that.
plug
I approve
that.
that.
Yeah, this is executive approval. Yeah, we have a bunch of like cool indie games going to be there. We're going to be showing off on the stream.
You're
and
gonna be there.
Ian
I'm a host.
and Andrea are going to be hosting it, so you get to see those two.
It's gonna be a train wreck.
No, it's gonna be crazy.
fun.
It'll
It'll be
absolutely be
fun.
crazy.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It should be fun. So thanks everyone, and have a good weekend.
Damiani, what is in your mug?
Da-na-na-na. The Emperor's new clothes.
What?
The ultimate cop out.
I guess 1 week it can be nothing. I mean, nothing is something.
Oh, it's the hero's new clothes from the Wind
Oxygen.
Waker.
Most metal birthday present
The
of
Wind
all
Waker.
time.
The clothes. Can't you see the hero's clothes? Remember when the grandma does it and you're like,
Yeah.
Only good-
I know.
only
I get your weird reference.
there you go.
That's in Dark Souls 2 as well.
Hey, you can't see them.
Yeah.
There's an
I'm
armor
trying to
that
give back to
is
the game.
invisible to
It's-
cowards. What do you
So
think?
many people love the Wind Waker. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to give them.
Did you forget? Is
Throwing
this
them a little bit of
intentional?
bone.
Are you making some kind of statement right now?
Damiani had a busy morning.
You know
he had
what?
a busy morning.
This is all because the Wind Waker HD is officially the most hated review on GameTrailers.com.
Officially.
Official.
He beat out
The highest
Uncharted 2.
percentage of downvotes of any review on GameTrailers.com.
And he grins. If you're
You've
just
really
listening,
achieved something here.
he's laughing to himself the
Yeah.
entire time. He's proud of his hatred.
It shows that rampant fanboyism still exists in video games. It will never
That
go
doesn't
away.
prove anything. It proves that
there ever a question
you wrote a
that-
bad score for a great
No, it
game. That's what it proves.
Nope. Not at all. To me, you all are crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what crazy people always feel.
Well, the first step is admitting you're having a problem.
That's what people that think there's something in their mug when there isn't. That's
Yeah.
crazy.